share the issues, we can talk out some things that we might disagree on, and we can also always say, hey, I disagree, but let's find a consensus and work forward. So I can tell you this is truly a very special place to be, and you all must feel the very same way because you're here in our community, and you're part of this wonderful place that we get to call home, that we get to work in, that we get to play in, that we get to serve in. So thank you for being here, and I'm not the one that you came here to listen to today. I can tell you all kinds of exciting things, but none of which are going to be quite as cool as what you're going to hear from our chairman, Mr. John Daniell.
All right, thank you to everyone who made it out today. We want to recognize fellow board commissioner. We have Henry Harden, Chuck Horton, Mark Saxon, and Mark Thomas all here. Also our county administrator, Justin Kerouac, as well as county attorney, Daniel Haygood. Also from the Board of Education, we have Ms. Kim Argo, Amy Parrish, and Michael Ransom. So thank you all for attending as well. Probate judge, Mr. Hunsinger is here today. Also from City of Watkins, we have Mayor Brian Broderick, as well as Christine Tucker from the City Council. Also I'd like to welcome Hunter Spear from the Governor's Office. Thank you for attending this today. Everybody knows you have a little bookmark on your table. So instead of printing out something, you're going to take it, throw it in the floorboard of your car, let you get it electronically. So if you're fancy, you can scan this little QR code and it'll take you to some kind of place where the if you're old-fashioned, you can just type it in. You got the website at the bottom, so you can go in there and get to the right spot. All right, so our budget for FY22 was $37.8 million. And again, roughly 40% of that goes to keeping people and property safe. As you can see, our number one expenditures are for Sheriff's Office and then Public Works, followed by Parks and Rec, where the majority of the money is getting spent. Revenue still over 50% of our revenues coming from property taxes. If you break down that 50%, 60% of that comes from residential tax base versus commercial. So that's one of our goals, is try to split that up a little. To get to 50-50, which is a very tough hill to climb. I want to talk a minute also about the other taxes, your insurance premium tax. So that's based on when you pay your property tax insurance, that gets taxed and is distributed back from the state to the jurisdiction that you live in. So if you live in a city, the city gets that tax. If you live outside the city, the county gets it. So we do a rollback. You'll see on your property tax bill where we roll back what we receive from the state on the insurance premium tax. So our tax digest continues to grow, which y'all saw with the assessments that you recently have received. We are proud to report that last year in 2022 we did a full rollback. So basically we only recognized and used the real growth from the digest. Also, for passing T-SPLOS, we'll do a 1 mil drop in the millage rate this year to offset the money that we're receiving from T-SPLOS. Also, one of the things we're working on this year is a homestead exemption change. Right now, you have a $2,000 homestead exemption. We're looking to increase that to $5,000. In addition, we have 3 different senior exemptions that you can go get. A lot of people don't even know these are available. And if you do know they're available, you have to go to the tax commissioner, fill out a lot of paperwork, and try to get the exemption that way. So what we're proposing to do is phase out these application-based homestead exemptions and go to an automatic property tax or property assessment freeze at age 65. So automatically on your birthday, the tax assessor will freeze your property values from then on. Also, we're asking that at age 75, you get an additional $10,000 homestead exemption that will be applied automatically. And then our goal is to go in 2035 to increase our 5,000 general homestead for everybody to 10,000. Now, in order to do that, we have to send a bill through the state legislature and get approved by both houses. And then it comes to you for a vote, and that's scheduled for the January, the 2024 primaries. So you'll have an opportunity to vote whether you want to have these homestead exemption changes made. Now, unfortunately, the homestead exemptions that exist now will have to be repealed, and you have to go in and create a new one. So in order to do that, the state legislature has to approve 10 different bills. Those 10 bills will then create 10 ballot questions that you'll see in January in the 2024 primary. So we're going to need your help educating if you think this is a good idea, that every single bill has to pass. You can't pick and choose. So all 10 have to pass in order for this to go into effect in January of 2025. We do think it will be a lot better for the homeowner, especially the seniors with additional $10,000 at age 75. All right, so here's our personnel count. We're right at 258 full-time employees for 2022. Our highest year was in recent history. In 2018, we had 266. So between 2018 and 2022, we dropped down to 255. And all those were just, as people left, we reassessed whether we need the person or not. Also did some reassignments. In 2022, we've only added 3 personnel back. That's how we got from 255 to 258. One was for the sheriff's office, one for the clerk of court, and then one for animal services. We're trying to do database approach to whether we add personnel or not. So some departments go through a full efficiency study where they look at what the departments do and try to find ways to do it better, quicker. And then we come up with metrics that we try to measure on when additional person might be needed. 255 is the low. I don't think we could go any lower than 255. And over the next few years, you're probably going to see that number edge back up closer to 260, 265. Residential building permits, as you see, we had 191 last year, opposed to 185 the year before. So kind of the sweet spot is 200 to 250. That gives us enough growth that the school system can adapt as well as we can adapt to the infrastructure that's needed for that. I would say that the reduction for the last 2 years is mainly associated to supply chain issues as well as labor force issues that everybody's experiencing. Water resources, a lot going on in water resources. The Georgia Association of Water Professionals awarded our system 2 awards last year. One's the Gold Distribution System Excellence Award, as well as the Gold Wastewater Collection System Excellence Award. So this is a volunteer program that our staff chose to participate in, to have outside audit come in and talk about, judge us against the standards that the water professionals have created. Cost treatment plant. Right now, we're in the process of going from 1.5 million gallons a day to 3 million gallons a day. Once we hit 3 million gallons a day at Cost Creek, there's no additional room to expand. So the next level will be going to the Midlow County to do a greenfield wastewater treatment plant. So we're going to end up spending probably $25 million to get this final phase created, to get to 3 million. Going to that next phase on the Midlow County, in today's dollars, it's probably going to be around $100 million to do that. So we're being very, very cautious with our sewer capacity. Right now, we're not awarding any residential in the outside of the incorporated areas for development of the sewer. So no residential sewer. We're actually over our capacity. based on our current allocations in the areas that are out there. With the expansion of the Calls Creek, we're gonna have a gray water system, so we'll be able to pump water over to our Oconee Veteran Park, Herman C., and then to the new LES eventually for irrigation. With the completion of the Calls Creek, we'll also be able to completely decommission the LES site behind North Oconee High School. Harlaper Creek is our freshwater drinking reservoir. We're in with Walton County. The reservoir is full and complete at this time. Walton County is in need of moving forward with the water treatment plant, so that is currently in the engineering phase. Oconee County is not quite ready to start using water out of there now, so we've been talking with Walton County. They've been very receptive to where we are. We committed to $12 million toward the treatment plant, and then we'll, in the process of working out how the additional buy-in will happen years down the road. One of the reasons we went ahead to participate at all was Governor Kemp did award $42 million to that project, which made it very important that we can participate in at this point to take advantage of that $42 million. Upper Oconee Water Basin, or Bear Creek, is currently in the expansion phase as well. We're going to go from 21 million treatment to 42 million gallons. Now that will basically double our water supply out of Bear Creek, which will take care of us for quite a while. Really, you're trying to save up for your droughts when they come. Most everybody in this room remembers when Bear Creek was about empty. We got pictures of Bear Creek almost empty. The city of Athens was contemplating having to bring bottled water in for their residents. That's how dry the Oconee River got as well as Planning and Code Enforcement. We received our recognition as a Plan First Community by DCA last week, so thanks to Guy and his team for working through that. That award is based on the implementation of your comprehensive plan, which Oconee County has done a great job of over the years. Had another speaking engagement this morning. I told the group that the first comp plan was created when I was 2 years old. And very little has changed in that comp plan if you go back and look from it. The land use map is virtually stayed the same with just minor adjustments in the border areas. So some great visions from leaders in the past there. We're currently in the middle of our comp plan update. So your next engagement opportunity will be March the 29th. And that'll be at Oconee Veterans Park from 3 to 7. We'll have a future land use map as well as some other documents there for you to look at and participate in. There's already been focus groups, community survey, and a future land use charrette that have occurred already. So if you miss any of those, this is a good opportunity on March 29th from 3 to 7 at Oconee Veterans Park. We really do want your participation in this. This guides us as commissioners on what comes through the site. Public Works and Transportation. So we'll run through some joint projects we have going on now. First one is Union Church Road signal. Yes, we're going to get a signal there. When, we still can't say. We finally got a deal worked out with DLT to get it through. Unfortunately, the parts have not arrived. We have a contractor on standby ready to install as soon as they showed up. So one day you will see it. It's in the works. We're also working at a roundabout at Grace Church and Malcolm Bridge Road, as well as Snows-Mill Road at Rocky Branch Road. Both of those are using federal dollars, and it's a very challenging process. We actually, I'll go ahead and say it, because we're taking some asphalt up that exists now in one of the intersections. And we were required to go do an archaeological study underneath the asphalt we were fixing to pull it. So that cost us about $13,000 and about 5 weeks delay in moving forward with the project. We're not fans of federal money, so this These were too important to pass up, these two intersections. State projects along 316 are the main ones. We have Dials Mill and Dials Mill Extension. That intersection is currently under reevaluation based on comments received from the residents. Construction is showing as FY '25, and that's not likely to be that quickly since they've gone back to do this reevaluation. McNutt's Creek was originally scheduled to have a flyover with no access to 316. That creates some issues for Bogart as well as our fire station number 7 that's located there as well. So the IDA recently donated 13 acres to the state of Georgia for the purpose of placing DDS. DDS, that's Driver Services, received money from Governor Kemp to build a new building. When they went to looking for property, they figured out quite right quickly they couldn't build the building and purchase property, so they came to us asking for some help. We felt it was a good idea to go ahead and partner with the state on that. So DDS is in the process of getting ready to close on that, and then they'll start construction of a driver services building on that location, which is at McNutt's Creek and 316. In addition, we have $1.8 million in the budget right now to move the state provost from Athens to this location. So the two state agencies relocating to this property. With that, DOT has gone back to reevaluate that intersection as well. And right now, DOT is currently investigating putting a full interchange at McNutt's Creek, which will be a big deal for Bogart and for our fire station there. Julian Drive was scheduled to be a flyover. Now it's showing as to be determined, so there's no date of, no description of what kind of intersection it's going to be there or when that will occur. And then Jimmy Daniell, Virgil Langford, and Oconee Connector showing construction in FY '24. All three of those projects have been bundled together. So the goal is to do Virgil Langford first, and then we can't quite figure out which one they're going to do next, whether it's Jimmy Daniell or Connector. So that starts in the FY '24, which is in the next 12 months. And we'll go to, scheduled to go to 2027. Most likely, it's going to be longer than that. And it's going to be terrible. Just go ahead and start planning your routes around that area. Try to stay away from it when it starts. That would be great if you didn't even drive through there until it's done. And then you can say what a great job that was. If you go through it every day, it's going to be challenging. So just know. But the end result is going to be very positive. Also, 316, where it hits the 10 loop, there's a project scheduled there. It's very long term, but they're going to rework that whole interchange where the 10 loop intersects 316. So I don't know that any of us will be attending these meetings when that happens. The other is 441 widening. There's currently right-of-way investigation going on now by DOT consultants through that area. Right now, the west still planned out. There will be 4 lanes, basically from the Florida line to the North Carolina line, 2 lanes through the middle of Bishop. Hopefully, when it gets so we will be working to try to help that out. And then our 15 bypass, it has a feasibility study going on right now, looking at different possibilities for routing traffic outside of the city of Watkinsville for that truck traffic coming through there. Then our local projects, just want to say again, thank you for passing T-Splosh. It was a real close vote, so we got a lot. We want to prove to you made the right decision, so we're going to monitor that and do our very best there. We have property tax relief was our #1 goal, and that will be shown out in the millage rate drop. So 1 mil drop in 2023. And so we're taking maintenance costs that were funded from your property taxes and moving that over to the 1 cent tax that you approved. Paved road maintenance is our biggest expenditures. We have about $30 million, so about $6 million extra paving will go into this next budget that we're creating at this time. We're looking at some different treatment surfaces as well. Hopefully we can extend the life of some of these roads without full paving. Multi-use paths, we have some money set aside for those. There's also a trail master plan that we'd like to get your comments on. You can see those online. Also, we'll be having a town hall meeting on the 21st here in this room. We'll have all the master plans up. We'd love to hear your comments on what you think about them. And we'll be moving forward with producing those. Hog Mountain Trail, which runs from basically Butler's Crossing down to Wellbrook, is currently in the design phase. This was all started prior to T-Splosh passing. So once that's complete, we do have some general fund money set aside to create that trail. So hopefully you can see some activity on that in the next 18 months. And then we have intersection improvements that were created. So we went out and tried to find our 5 worst intersections on county roads. We came up with Snows Mill at Lane Creek, Union Church at New High Shoals, Astondale at Colin Ferry, Lane Creek at Morris Ford, Snows Mill at Cold Springs. So we're going to look at all those intersections. We have sent those out to design. We've done the studies on those, and those are all feasible for a roundabout. So all those intersections will be start design on roundabout. They've been ranked, so the first 2 will be Snows Mill at Lane Creek, and then Union Church at New High Shoals Road. They were evaluated by the consultant based on cost, the amount of right-of-way that was required, as well as accidents that could be corrected, and also the number of vehicles that go through that intersection. So right now, Snows Mill at Lane Creek is in full design. Full design is underway, and that'll be our first intersection that we create with this T-Splosh money. Fire rescue, there's 882 fire calls answered last year with a 7.71 minute response time, which is very, very strong. We had 33,183 medical calls that were dispatched last year as well. So currently we have 160 volunteers that are getting up in the middle of the night and running these calls for the citizens of Oconee County. So if you're looking for a volunteer organization, that's a good one to talk to. We have fire engine 701 for Station 7 in Bogart is on order right now. That was a 2-year lead time, so we placed it about a year ago, so they're fixing to start construction of that. It should be delivered here in the next 12 to 18 months. And your support of SPLOST every time we come and ask is a huge contributor to us having the right kind of equipment and the right kind of fire stations. Parks and Rec, participation in our programs continues to grow. We have strong demand for our fields and courts. We also have park master plan updates that are available now. So existing parks have been, we looked at our previous master plans, those have been adjusted for things that are completed, and we have a list for about every park that we have. We also have new plans for the middle of Oconee. We talked about the location of a new sewer plant. We have some room there to also have a passive park and then a blueway access. So when we talk about blueways, that's being able to get on the river and kayak or canoe down the river. Heritage Park has a major update to kind of turn it more equestrian or increase the equestrian facilities there, as well as mountain biking. And then the trail master plan. So all these will be on display on next Tuesday, March 21st here, starting at 6 o'clock. So try to come by and at least look at the master plans and give us your thoughts. Once that is complete, once the citizen engagement is complete, those will be updated based on your comments and brought back to the Board of Commissioners for approval. And once that's done, we'll start working up funding plans on trying to move forward with those. And you can't talk about Parks and Rec anymore in Oconee County without talking about pickleball. Now, there are very few days or weeks that go by we don't hear something about pickleball. And actually, 2014 was when we first started allowing pickleball play in their gyms. It started out with 8 hours a week at Oconee Veterans Park. So we go from 2014 to 2021, where there are now 108.75 hours per week of indoor play for pickleball. That's a huge, very fast increase. So we hear the pickleballers, we understand it's a growing sport. I've got a son who started playing, so it's not just the older generation. It's really catching on. We've also completed 2 outdoor courts that are available. There's no lights out there unless you pull your car up like the old days. 2 outdoor courts that are full-time pickleball. Also, you'll see on the master plan, we're going to try to, our goal is to make Oconee Veterans Park our tennis area, and Herman C. Michael will become pickleball. So all the outdoor courts that currently exist that are tennis will be converted to pickleball, so you end up with lighted pickleball courts behind the gym, as well as two additional junior tennis courts will be turned into pickleball. So we're moving as quickly as we can to address that. Senior Center, just again, thank you to Governor Kemp for awarding us the CBDG grant that allowed expansion of the Senior Center. We encourage you to go by and take a look, and you may be able to find some stuff for you to do there. Keep Oconee beautiful. Thanks to Senior Pritchard doing a great job with our tire amnesty and litter pickup. We do have a program with the Sheriff's Office where they take our community service workers out to pick up trash, and that's working really, really well. So thanks to Cindy for all you're doing there. She also takes care of our trees along Mars Hill Road, so shout out to that. Elections, we do have a new director in elections, and so they're continuing with their excellence in hosting elections every year. This is constantly changing. There were no less than probably 20 bills introduced in the legislature this session. I'm not sure that any of them made it out of committee, but it's a constant give and take there on changes. But we do appreciate everything they're doing, and I'm confident we are getting an accurate report of what's happening in Oconee County. They will be moving to the new administrative building. We'll be talking about that in just a few minutes. So early voting after July of this year will occur at the administrative building, and hopefully that'll be where it stays for a very long time. So we've been having to move around a good bit. Civic Center is a great place, a great venue. A lot of the community uses this location. We spent some SPLOST dollars here over the last few years to do an update. Thanks to Sean and all his team for the great job they're doing. Sheriff's Office, Frank Nar's building was an old prison work camp, and it had been kind of pieced together with offices here and there. So working with the sheriff, we came up with some money to go in and basically gut that building and produce an area for the deputies to interact with the public and have a great area to work. Also working with the sheriff on monitoring his data to make sure he has the right number of personnel to keep us safe. Libraries. So the Watkinsville branch of the library is under construction now, the new. Also in the budget this year, Representative Gaines and Weedow were successful in getting an additional $500,000 for that project. So that's going to allow them to finish out more of the area they wanted to finish out. The old library building will be surplused, as well as the annex, and you'll probably see some activity on that, hopefully by the end of the month, but at least in April, both of those will go up for bid for surplus. So Sarah Camusi's here with the Visitors and Bureau, and thanks for all the work they do. If you need tours of the Eagle Tavern, this is kind of a new project. It's only been going for a few years. We moved it to the Visitors Bureau, and it's working out really, really well. Animal Services, a lot of volunteer opportunities there as well. As you noted, as I noted earlier, we did add personnel to That also allow for an extension of hours that is open to the public. So in the past, they've been closed on Saturday and Sunday. Now they're open from 12 to 6 on Saturday and 1 to 5 on Sunday. Anybody know why the fire department has dogs in the firehouse, on fire trucks? Never saw a cat, right? It's to find fire hydrants, so. All right. This is the project, the administrative building project's been talked about for over 20 years, trying to figure out whether to build new courthouses or build administrative buildings. So, very proud of this board of commissioners who came up with a site and an agreement on building an administrative building, found the location, and now 4,000 square foot building is under construction. And there have been several studies done since 2004 on space, and how much space do you need, how much does the administrative need, how much does the court system. And so as we brought the architect in to review, they sat down with every department, come up and talk about how they service customers, and how much space it would need, and still have room for expansion in the future. That's how we came up with the 44,000, which is exactly in line with stuff that was done back in 2004. I think they actually said 45,000 was the number that would have been built back then. So this is on time and on budget. We expect to move in July of this year. So all county administrative offices will be moving to this location, as well as the tax commissioner and tax assessor and elections. So all that group is moving, and that will free up the annex, which as I mentioned will go on surplus. The courthouse will be dedicated to judicial functions. So right now negotiations for space are underway with the judges and the constitutional officers remaining in the courthouse. Once the space allocation is completed, we'll come up with an efficient, physically responsible plan of implementation to get people where they need to go. And this will be a phased approach to this. We do have some SPLOST dollars set aside in the current SPLOST to start that process. And then high-speed internet. So the build is underway. We partnered with Charter. We agreed to pay them $1,000 for every home that's connected under this program. And right now we have 1,700 homes listed in this program. In addition, there's another, I don't have the number, but there's a huge number of federal dollars that are being allocated to Oconee County as well, south end, that they had already won. So we accelerated that program. I was pleased to learn this. I didn't think anybody had been hooked up, but I talked to somebody this morning who actually has the service. So they started in the High Shoals area, and they're working their way back down Farmington, and they'll go across the county, putting the backbone in. But they've already started hooking up homes. The project is scheduled to be completed in spring of next year. So hopefully all 1,700 of those homes will be connected. There's 115 homes that are in no man's land, and they're still looking at those to figure out how to connect them. Those are ones that the state says are served, but they're actually not served when you look at the actual speeds. And my house is one of those, so I'm lobbying heavily. So, in closing, the state of your county is strong, and our future is bright. And we'll open up to any questions you might have about anything, what we talked about or what we haven't. Fire away.
I don't have a question, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the Board of Commissioners, thank you to Oconee County, to what you do, what we all do together. The lady that introduced you, I don't know what her name was, but Oconee County is a great place to live, and we are very appreciative. So thank you.
Thank you. We have a strong history of leadership in Oconee County, going back some of the vision that was set up and from previous chairmen. It's kind of amazing to even look at today. If you go back to Wendell Dawson, and he helped set up Bear Creek, which has run smoothly for years and years. I remember hearing when he was talking about when Home Depot was coming in, how Ashbridge, that area was gonna be a regional retail center. And I laughed. It was the old 2-lane road, the old country store was not far from there. But that kind of vision and leadership is what made Oconee County great. Just one more reminder, so on March 21st, here at the Civic Center is our town hall. Again, the focus is gonna be parks and rec master plans as well as trail master plan. But you do have an opportunity to ask any kind of question you want. All 5 of us will be here. And then the comp plan open house, March 29th, 3 to 7. That is a drop-in at Oconee County Veterans Park. Last chance for any questions, comments, or emotional outbursts. Thank you so much for coming.
So there's nothing else really except for to say again, thank you for being here. Again, on behalf of the Oconee Chamber, I'm Courtney Bernardi, and it's a pleasure to be in this community. I remember telling my parents when I was leaving high school, I'm a proud graduate of Oconee County High School, and I said, peace out, I'm never coming back. It's a great place, but I'll never be back. It's a big city life for me, and I'm eating those words, proudly eating those words. I am more than pleased to be back. My family is back. And it is a great place to be. It's a great place to interact with others. It's a great place to work. And to just see the success that this community has seen over the last, I'll date myself, 40 years, is just tremendous. So I hope that you will leave here today knowing that each and every day we're trying and working diligently to continue to make this place even better than it is today. So thank you for your efforts in doing that, for serving our community as business leaders. We appreciate you for what you do and for investing your time, energy, and resources into this community so that we can thrive for another 40 plus years moving forward. So thank you all. Bundle up. Maybe this is the last cold snap, and have a great rest of your week.